Take a break from holiday shopping and preparations for a little bit of hockey, why don't you? We've got a good one on deck tonight. How about some rivalry action as the Saginaw Spirit have made the short trip down 75 to meet up with the Firebirds. Flint looking to draw itself closer in the Coors Light I-75 Divide Cup. Let's see what tonight has in store as it's the Firebirds and the Spirit. Flint Firebirds hockey is on the air, and it starts right now. And good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome inside the broadcast booth for tonight's pregame show, driven by Shea Automotive. Here to tell you this story, I'm Brian Gardner. Well, it's the final week before the OHL's holiday break, and it's a week that features two games for the Firebird. Both of them are Coors Light I-75 Divide Cup matchups with their rivals, the Saginaw Spirit. Flint looking to draw itself a little bit closer in this season series, having dropped the first three. Firebirds coming into this week, having played pretty well last week. Back-to-back victories for Flint. Meanwhile, on the other side of things, Saginaw is off of a lopsided loss its last time out against the Erie Otters. You know, the Firebirds hope to build on what they did last weekend, carry some momentum into the holiday break, and of course make things a little bit more equitable in this season series. You know it's going to be spicy. It always is when these two rivals meet up, whether it's up the road in Saginaw or right here at the Dordt Financial Center. So we've got a lot to talk about for today's game, but before we do that, let's take a look at what happened last time both these two teams were on the ice. Full highlights as we'll begin with the Birds, who had the Owen Sound attack in this building on Saturday. First period, Clattenburg for Petrie. Caden Petrie finishes off the rush, high in the glove side, and the Firebirds take a 1-0 lead. We jump ahead to the second. Some chances. Flynn a little wraparound. Look at this save. Is getting the toe on it, sliding it over. Trenton Bennett is making his OHL debut. Overhead angle, the wraparound attempt for Evan Conyon. Bennett barely keeps it out. On to the third we go, still 1-0. Owen Sound on the power play. One-time chance. Nathan Day there to shut it down with the left pad. Day calm as they come with bodies crashing into his crease. Nathan Day was spectacular in this game, if not that busy. Later, Birds on the power play. Little breathing room provided by Urban Padrekar. His second of the season. Birds not done. Here's Alex Kostov posting in. Back-to-back. It's now 3-0. But that clock didn't move too much. Hayden Reed, Kolzarowski, top shelf. 3 goals in 48 seconds for the Firebirds, who cruise to a 4-0 victory. Nathan Day with a 16-save shutout, his second shutout of the season. Erie and Saginaw, first period early on. Sam Alfano from Pano Femus and Alexis Davio. 1-0 Otters. This is going to be a similar theme of this highlight. A busy first period. Now Callum Hughes for the feed from Martin Nishiak, and it's 2-0 Erie. Later, the Otters with Wesley Royston. Dylan Edwards set him up, and it's 3-0. Erie was playing its first game following the passing of its owner to the backside, little tap in and score. Kerry Durant's 4-0. This team honoring the memory with a 5-goal first period outburst. Ripped top shelf and home for Hughes that time from Mishiak, and that made it 5-0. Later it's 6-0 before Saginaw gets on the board. Sebastian Gervais off the feed from Michael Misa make it 6-1. The Spirit are going to get one more here in the third period, down 6-1. How about Misa? His 30th of the season. What a dart that was. Perek and Gervais the assists, but Sam Alfano from Malcolm Spence for the hat trick. 8-2. Erie wins it over Saginaw on home ice. So the Firebirds and the Spirit meeting up for the 4th time this season. Now these are two teams that excel in different categories. Saginaw scores. They have the best goal scoring offense in the Ontario Hockey League, averaging well over 4 goals per game. The Firebirds, one of the better defenses, as Flint's top 5 in goals against, and also allows the fewest shots that you'll see in the OHL. Birds have still struggled on the power play. Penalty kill is improving as of late, but the Spirit, that's a team that can really put the puck in the net, both at even strength and the power play. The breakdown of the team comparison between those two rivals here in the great state of Michigan. In the standings, they're not far apart. Now, Saginaw sitting in 5th. Flint is in a tie for 6th. Now, the Firebirds have a game in hand on both the Spirit, who have a 5-point lead on them, and then the Sioux, who they are tied with 28 standings points. But the Firebirds in a tie for 6th place. Now, a couple of games against Saginaw this week. Here this evening, Friday in Saginaw. So what that means is the Firebirds have a chance to take a bite out of that 5-point lead, find themselves a little bit more towards the middle of the pack, and wouldn't that feel good going into the OHL's break? So the Firebirds and the Saginaw Spirit, as we mentioned, it's always spicy between these two teams. They've played 3 times this season. Every single game has been a physical and honestly penalty-filled affair. I would be very surprised if they don't come out just flying, hitting hard. There's always post-whistle activity between these two squads. It'll be interesting to see how these things kind of ramp up throughout this 60 minutes of hockey that we have upcoming. Hey, stick around before we get to that 60 minutes of hockey. We've got more here on the pregame show driven by Shea Automotive. When we come back, we'll get a look at the starting lineups for these two teams, our players to watch, that and more when we come back after this on the pregame show driven by Shea Automotive, live on FHN.
All right, Chevy team, huddle up, huddle up. We really got to bring it this month. Banks, what do you got?
Lease a new Chevy Silverado for as low as $298 a month.
Go Chevy!
Theo, what do you got?
Lease the all-new 2020-25 Chevy Equinox for as low as $299 a month.
Go Chevy!
Connie, what do you got?
Lease a Chevy Blazer for as low as $289 a month.
Go Chevy!
Let's get the best deal for our past, present, and future customers. What do we say? What do we chant?
Just Chevy!
Firebirds and the Spirit. Little Coors Light I-75 Divide Cup action coming at you live from the Dort Financial Center. Welcome into the pregame show driven by Shea Automotive. Firebirds and the Saginaw Spirit for the 4th time this season. We'll get a look at today's lineups. We'll begin with the Spirit, and they're going with the unbalanced combination, 11 forwards, 7 defensemen. Now, they're missing Joey Willis. He's off at camp for Team USA in the World Juniors. They're also missing Christian Epperson, serving a suspension right now, as this is a team that, well, it'll be interesting to see how they kind of deploy these 11 forwards and the 3 centers that they have lined up. We'll look at our players to watch for today's contest. We will begin with Carson Harmer. Harmer's a rookie for Saginaw. He's been good, a solid points contributor at 18 on this season. Now that's second in goals among OHL rookies with his 10 goals on this season. 5 of his 18 points have come against Flint, 2 goals and 3 assists. He was a 3rd-round pick in the 2023 OHL draft, and the really interesting thing for Harmer, he has not gone consecutive games without a point in over a month. It was back in early November when that happened. Did not score or have an assist in their loss against Erie, so we'll see if the Birds can keep young Carson Harmer off the score sheet. To the blue line and Zane Parekh. Now, there's been a lot of conversation about Parekh lately in regards to Canada's World Juniors team. First, he was left off the camp invite list. Then he got that late invite, but was finally eventually cut from the team. Now he's back with the Spirit. The Calgary Flames prospect, 9th overall draft pick in the 2024 NHL draft. He continues to put up eye-popping large numbers, well over a point per game at 10 goals and 25 assists. Now the question is, will he be playing like he's got something to prove after his nation said no thanks for their national team for the World Junior Championships? And finally, to Michael Misa, another guy who did not get the nod for Canada's World Junior team. Of course, he's younger in his draft season now, but he certainly has an argument leading the OHL in goals and points. Misa's sure to hear his name called in the first round of the 2025 NHL draft. 3rd season with the Spirit after getting exceptional status, and boy, has he popped this year. Only 1 time this season has he failed to get a point. November 3rd against the Kitchener Rangers. Misa enters play today on a 14-game point streak. To the Firebirds lineup, says the Birds will have, of course, the balanced 12-6, unlike Saginaw's 11-7. Nathan Day between the pipes once again for Flint, who is healthy. The Firebirds not missing guys due to injury, which is always a nice thing to see. That defense remains unchanged. The forward lines continuing to be kind of searching for the exact combinations that Paul Flash and his coaching staff will like moving forward. But we'll get a look at our players to watch, and we'll begin with the man who's the third-line center today. How about Hayden Reed? Points in back-to-back for Reed. Seems like he's hitting his stride. He's found his role with the Firebirds, pops on the ice from a skating perspective. Fast and physical for the Minnesota commit. Playing the team he scored his first OHL goal against tonight. We'll see if he can make it points in 3 in a row and make it a couple of points against the Saginaw Spirit so far in the season series. Hayden Reed on the third line center. To the blue line of Matthew Mania, another guy who's really hit his stride lately for the Firebirds. Starting to see the points production from the blue line for the Kings prospect. Points in 5 of his last 7. During those 7 games, 2 goals, 5 assists. Now, he had an assist against the Owen Sound attack on Saturday. Got the helper on the Alex Kostov goal that made the score 3-0. He's very comfortable on that blue line pairing alongside Blake Smith, the right shot D-man. The LA Kings draft pick Matthew Mania starting to light up the score sheet from the blue line for the Firebirds. And to the man who leads this team in goals, Caden Petrie. Also leads the Firebirds with 4 points against Saginaw this season. 11 goals paces the Birds, 20 points on the year. Now, it's a new career high in goals for Petrie. Tampa prospect had 10 in an injury-abbreviated season last year. He's centering Clattenburg and Thibodeau today. There's some firepower on that line. Birds hoping to continue to crank things up offensively. 3 goals, 2 helpers in his last 5 games for Petrie. A goal and 3 assists against the Saginaw Spirit in the season series this year. So that's who we're keeping an eye on here today, amongst others, of course, as it's the Firebirds and the Saginaw Spirit. Gonna be a spicy one, as always, between these two rivals on this Wednesday evening, live from the Dort Financial Center. We're approaching the holidays and hope that you're posted up somewhere warm to watch this one. We'll bring it to you as best we can. This has been the Pregame Show, driven by Shea Automotive. We'll be back with starting lineups, anthems, and puck drop, all after this, live on the Firebirds Hockey Network.
Hello? Are you there? The Shea Megalot is hosting their annual pre-owned lease pull-ahead. Are you upside down on your trade?
Over on your miles?
We'll buy your car.
Don't just turn your lease in.
We'll buy your car.
Is your current payment too high?
We'll buy your car.
Trapped in your lease?
We'll buy your car.
Not in the market for a car?
We'll still buy your car.
Are your service bills adding up?
We'll buy your car.
Bad credit?
We'll buy your car. Plus, the Shea Megalot has over 500 pre-owned and certified vehicles to choose from. Just Sheaing.